The Benoni doesn't think sinful thoughts.
They come in.
But thoughts that come by themselves is not really called thinking. That's not thinking. That's just being conscious.
So we're not supposed to control our thoughts?
Once they happen, you have to filter them out and say, whoa, that thought, no, I don't like that. But if no thought occurs to you, you're brain dead. So thoughts happen, and then you have to pick the good ones and reject the bad ones. But before you reject the bad one, you have to say, ooh, that's a bad thought. That's not called thinking bad. That's called identifying a bad thought and then not thinking it. Yeah? So, but a tzaddik doesn't even have those thoughts occur to him. So if you don't want those thoughts occurring to you, it's because you need to be a tzaddik. If the Eibishter isn't asking you to be a tzaddik, then what's good about being a tzaddik?
You want it yourself.
Huh?
You want it yourself. That's your own.
That's right. So, here's how the Rebbe says it. Ve'adrabah, Perek Chav Zayin. Ve'adrabah, not only is your sadness not tshuva, but on the contrary, it's not even holy. Ha'atzus hi megasus haruach. This sadness is coming from arrogance. She'einei makir mekaimei. Where do you see arrogance in a person who doesn't like himself because he has unholy thoughts? Is that arrogant or is that humble? It looks humble.
No, because you expect yourself to have none.
And why is that arrogant?
Because
that's not how Hashem made you. You think you're better than God.
Here's how the Rebbe says it. She'einei makir mekaimei. One of the forms of arrogance is to be dishonest with yourself. Not knowing yourself is a form of arrogance. Not being realistic about yourself. V'al kain, because you're not realistic about yourself, that's why you're feeling bad that you have unholy thoughts, because tzaddikim don't have those thoughts. So you actually believe that you could be or should be or were about to be a tzaddik, and then this bad thought came and ruined it all. That's pretty arrogant. Now the Rebbe calls it gasus haruach. Interesting expression. Gasus haruach means arrogant, but translate the two words. Gas haruach. What does gas mean? Coarse. Grubby. What does ruach mean? Ruchnius. So the person who is arrogant in this way, the arrogance is he has a grubby ruchnius. His ruchnius is corrupt because he is sensitive and he is all upset because of unholy thoughts. Pretty spiritual, no? Ruchnius. But it's not about the Eibishter. It's only about himself. So that's called a corrupt Ruchnius. If he knew himself, then he would know that a Benoni is supposed to have a Yetzer Hara, a Benoni is supposed to have a heart that leads him in the wrong direction, and he's supposed to refuse. What's good about that? For the person, nothing. But it fulfills the Eibishter's purpose. It makes a dira b'tachtenim. So if a person says, yeah, but I don't want to do that. Because you're spiritual? You don't want to do what the Eibishter needs because you're a ruchni that is so corrupt. Remember that famous story about some guy needed a shovel. He didn't have a shovel. So his wife says, why don't you go ask the neighbor? He's got a shovel. He says, nah, I don't want to bother him. He's not so generous with his stuff. No, he would probably say no. I'm sure he'll say no. He would say no. Just about a shovel. I mean, a shovel. What am I going to do? Ruin his shovel? I'm just going to use it. I'll give it back to him. He won't even give me a shovel. Never mind something I use. Not even a shovel. What is wrong with this guy? And before you know it, he storms into the guy's house and he says, what is wrong with you? Not even a shovel? The guy says, what are you talking about? He said he worked himself into a fit. The guy said, what? You need a shovel? Take the shovel. Why didn't you ask me before you work yourself into a fit? So you get yourself all upset. You get yourself all depressed. You quit on life because you're ruined anyway. What's the difference? God will never forgive you. Excuse me, calm down. Go to God and say, can I have a shovel? And God will say, yeah, sure. So what are you getting all upset about? So if you're getting upset without the Eibishter, that's gas haruach. You're making up your own laws. You're making up your own punishment. You're making up your own avedas. What are you doing?